Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. All right, coming to you with lesson 12, which is analyzing your data. Okay, so it's key in the start of the process when you're thinking about the type of sales funnel that you want to build. And when you're in the process of building it, think in your mind that the goal of this funnel is for data analytics. Okay. So what I mean by that is we want to make sure that we're not introducing too many different variables, okay, and factors into the process, which then means we don't understand the data. Okay. So for example, if we have our sales funnels, okay, and we have multiple different directions of travel that a potential buyer could make, where they could go and see the about page, where they could go and see, projects, they could see the team, they could see this, that, and the other, and they can move freely around the website or the sales funnel as they will. Okay, we want to know that the information presented is clear and concise, because what that will do is that will increase the clarity when we're analyzing the data. If there's one action for them to take and there's only supporting information for that action, okay, what we can see is that supporting information effective to the majority of traffic that we send there, or are we having low conversion rates? Okay, and then what we're able to do is we're able to increase the value of the information, or we're able to really optimize it to be the best information, or the best way to display the information or to say the information, okay, so that we can increase it. Other things to keep in mind is when we're thinking about the sales funnel and analyzing it, well, what can we do to get more data? So fun things to do is to have an email marketing campaign that is a survey campaign. So when they click through here, they get the email where they get the course access and all of that, and then just have a secondary email that goes that asks for a bit of feedback of what they thought. Okay. And then we do another survey after they've booked in the appointment to what they thought about the appointment. Like we find ways to get data out of our buyers so that we can understand, okay, what is causing a buyer to progress forward and what is causing a buyer to opt out. Because if we understand those metrics, then we can scale those metrics, okay? Other key things to remember when analyzing our data is, if we jump over to here and we're using the statistics, we're able to then see, what's the movements on the pages, how many people are coming there, what are they doing? We can see, how effective has it been? How many products are we selling or services? How many appointments are we booking? Like, we want to start measuring all this data, because if we can understand that, hey, if we drive 200 people to the lead magnet per week, we will convert, let's say we convert at 10%. So we convert 20 leads a week. Okay. Out of those 20 leads, how many of them book? Okay. If we're booking at 30%, then that would just be about 6 of them that were booking into the meeting per week. So 6 meetings per week. And then if we're able to understand, out of those 6 meetings, how many of them bought, and let's say we did it at 20%. So 1.2 customers per week buy. Okay. What we understand, well, is if we're sending 200 people here per week, if we send 2,000 people here, we should have 200 customers. If 200 customers are reaching here, we should have 60 meetings per week. If we're getting 60 meetings, we should have 12 sales per week. Okay, so do you see how we're able to just break up the data So by understanding this just allows us in the optimization stage when it's, well, if this is how the performance is, what are some ways that we could increase performance, and what are some ways that we could increase the flow of traffic? Because if we're converting on average at 20%, a 20% flat amount, well, then we can work out, well, from that 20% of conversions, how much would we generate, and how much would we have to spend to get that amount of buyers there? So, if it's 1,000 and we're converting, we're getting 1,000 people through and we're converting at 20%, that's 200 buyers. You know what I mean? So we're able to progress it through and understand that, hey, 200 people are going to get this. Out of that, roughly 40 people are going to buy. Out of that, at 20%, roughly 8 people are going to buy this. So a key thing to remember, okay, is there are two metrics for scaling. One is that we can increase the amount of traffic dramatically that we send, or we can increase our conversion rates. These are the two easiest metrics. So what we want to have is we want to have all the funnels and all of that designed so that we can measure those two outcomes. So for example, if we increase the amount of traffic we send, but we're not increasing dramatically or in line with the percentage increase. So, if we're converting at 20%, and then typically we're getting 200 people to the website, and then we up it to 1,000 people, and now we're only converting, out of that 1,000 people, only 150 people are signing up. We're seeing a dip. So potentially what that'll tell us is maybe our lead source isn't as qualified or isn't the right lead source. So what we want to do is we just want to have this as simple as a process so that we can see clearly each of the influencing factors, and we can see each of the taps that we have to turn, okay, to get the results that we want. And it's very, very important, because if we don't do analytics and we just look to scale, we might be scaling an unsustainable business model or an unsustainable marketing model. And what that would do is it's pointless. It's just wasting money. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're in line to where when we're increasing the amount of traffic, we're also, trying to increase our conversion rate so we can maximize on that traffic. Otherwise, if we're not increasing our conversion rate, we're just increasing our leads, what will happen is as competition increases in that, sector, industry, whatever, okay, or those keywords or, that platform, it becomes unaffordable and unsustainable. For example, in the solar industry in Australia, typically buying a lead can be anywhere from $100 to $500 for a qualified lead. For an unqualified lead, can be anywhere from $50 to $150. Okay, so you got to understand and this isn't just through going through lead generation companies, but this is going through advertising as well, because it might be $20 a click, okay, per click on the ad just to get someone to this website, okay? And if we're spending $20 just to get someone to this website, for us to get 100, potential buyers to this website or to this sales funnel, we're spending $2,000. So if we're not converting at a rate to where we're getting, a 2, 4, 5 times return on the, leads that we send over there, we are quite vulnerable to any market changes in the advertisements. So if the market changes and it goes from being $20 a lead to $40 a lead, now we're up to $4,000. So if we only had a 10% or a 20%, markup in terms of profit on what we were purchasing, and, we get a 100% increase on the price to get there, we're now in a deficit where we're losing money. Okay, so understanding this is understanding, well, we want to measure and track leads coming in and then our conversion rates. Okay, and we want to find ways when we're looking at optimizing to just increase it, even if it's only 5-10% per week, per month, per year, it's okay. Well, maybe not per year. If we're only getting 5% increase on our sales effectiveness per year, a lot of work has to be done. Okay, because the more we target the right buyers in our marketing and the more we align our sales funnel process to the buyer's desired outcome, we will increase the conversion rate. So if we're not increasing our conversion rate, then we're plateauing, and evidently we're not getting as good leads in, or we're not performing as well. Okay, and we're not as good at sales as we think. So that's a key thing to understand. But it also, in analyzing our data, we're able to project out what we think is going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months, the next 6 to 12 months, the next 12 to 24 months. And what this allows us to do is to start preparing and to make sure that we're going to be here for the long haul, rather than just living week to week, day to day. What do I have to do to meet, my weekly budgets? What we're able to do is project out, well, if we sustain this amount of growth and this amount of improvement per year or per month over 6 months, we should see, let's say it's 10% improvements per month, we should see 60% improvement overall in 6 months. All right. I hope that makes sense to you, and that you get it. But it's just, the key is to keep it simple. Okay. Only have a few variables that influence the decision making, in terms of, a few variables that influence the effectiveness of the sale. So lead quality, sales organization, congruency, the offer, the information presented, things like this. And what we're able to do is, if we limit how many variables we have to account for, we can do deep dives into really understand them. Okay. All right. Well, I hope this helped. And just think, when you're building out your sales funnel, in the back of your mind, the expectation is build it, get it up, but we want to collect and analyze data. That is the important thing, because that's how we can sort of improve our process, or that's how we can really set ourselves up to be able to optimize this to the next level. Okay. And that's how we scale it, because there's no point scaling a business model that loses money, because then it's only going to lose money at an exponential rate. All right. Well, you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.